This is the story of Gunna and why joining YSL was the biggest mistake of his life. But before we get into what happened, we've got to take you back to where it all began, in the city of Atlanta. Gunna was born Sergio Giovanni Kitchens in College Park, Georgia, a city on the southern boundary of Atlanta. Raised by his mother and with 4 older brothers to look up to and impress, Gunna had the drive to distinguish himself from the very beginning. Known for his bold fashion and stylistic flair, Gunna was always a snappy dresser, winning the best dressed honors at his high school. Like his future mentor, Young Thug, he was no stranger to turning heads with his unconventional style. Gunna grew up listening to Chingy, Cameron, and Atlanta legends Outkast, and started rapping at 15, citing artists like Hot Boys, Boozy Badass, and Drake as influences on his early sound. Eventually, he put out a 2013 mixtape called Hard Body under Young Surge. The tape was well received but didn't precisely catapult him to stardom. But 2 years later, when his path crossed that of Young Thug's, things started to change for Gunna. It was on set for Young Thug's With That video that the two rappers first met. They were brought together by Keith Troup, a paternal figure in the Atlanta trap community who had watched over them as they came up in the scene. When Troup died that year, Young Thug and Gunna got close, eventually leading to Gunna appearing on Thug's 2016 track, Floyd Mayweather, which also featured big names such as Gucci Mane and Travis Scott. After that collaboration, the two were closely linked. In 2016, Gunna signed with Thug's YSL Records and released his debut mixtape, Drip Season. The tape featured other members from YSL like Lil Duke, Netchi, and Young Thug himself. The two rappers collaborated frequently and developed a reputation for their effortless artistic chemistry. Gunna makes no secret of Young Thug's influence on him and has praised his mentor's incredible drive and ambition. He just lets you know that it ain't never enough. You gotta keep going. He goes to the studio every day. Even on show days, he was in the studio. Even on tour, he was in the studio. I don't think nobody got more songs than him. Gunna took this advice to heart, and success kept coming. 2017 saw the release of another mixtape, Drip Season 3. In 2018, he reportedly laid down over 50 guest verses, working with a range of massive artists from Chris Brown to Megan Thee Stallion. In 2019, he released the single, One Call, which was certified platinum and became the lead single of his debut studio album, Drip or Drown 2. The album featured guest appearances from fellow Atlanta rappers Lil Baby, Playboi Carti, and, of course, friend and advisor Young Thug himself. In 2018, it seemed Gunna could do no wrong. When Gucci Mane tweeted he would give Gunna $1 million to sign with his label, Young Thug quickly replied, saying that he had already matched the deal for Gunna to stay with him at YSL. He tweeted, "I gave him that already, kid." #no cap. Young Thug valued Gunna enough to beat high-profile competitors and keep him with his label. From then on, it seemed like the two rappers could only get hotter. In 2019, Gunna featured on Young Thug's fiery single, Hot, and the song soared to the #1 spot on Apple Music. Over the next few years, things just seemed to get better for the two stars. In 2019, Young Thug won his first Grammy for a writing credit on Childish Gambino's This Is America. And between 2020 and 2022, Gunna released 2 more albums. Wunna and DS Forever clinched the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 albums chart. By any metric, both rappers were at the top of their game. But like the classic tale of Icarus, it seems they have flown too close to the sun. Only a few months after the release of DS Forever, things took a significant turn for the worse, with Young Thug and Gunna arrested under a 56-count indictment involving 28 associates of the YSL label. So what led to these arrests? Gunna, Young Thug, and other associates violated the RICO Act. RICO stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. The indictment claims that Young Stoner Life label essentially functions as a street gang, with the alternative name, Young Slime Life. According to the indictment, members conspire to associate together and with others for the common purpose of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a racketeering activity. The prosecution believes YSL is not a record label, but a criminal gang loosely affiliated with the National Bloods gang. Young Thug, GUNNA, and associates have pleaded not guilty to all charges, and the indictment has been widely criticized due to its use of rap lyrics as evidence against the YSL collective.
I think if you decide to admit your crimes over a beat, I'm gonna use it.
Using rap lyrics as evidence is a highly controversial legal strategy. Many rappers use their lyrics to describe their own lives, but generally, the audience understands that there is always room for artistic license, exaggeration, and embellishment. We don't associate authors of crime novels with the crimes depicted in their work, or assume that Bob Marley's famous song, "I Shot the Sheriff," is evidence that he shot an actual sheriff. However, using rap lyrics as evidence has increased in recent years. The case involving Young Thug, GUNNA, and YSL has gained renewed interest in the strategy due to the prominence of the accused rappers. Many have spoken out against trap lyrics functioning as evidence, with Run the Jewels member and Atlanta legend Killer Mike warning aspiring artists to be careful. Aspiring rap artists need to know authorities are targeting them, and they need to balance their right to free speech and their desire to push the envelope of free speech with the reality that police are watching. But despite protesting their innocence and support from figures like Killer Mike, Young Thug and GUNNA remained behind bars, awaiting trial. GUNNA's lawyers had applied for bail 3 times and been denied each time, with tensions rising in the courtroom when the most recent decision was made in October 2022. GUNNA's future looks uncertain as the criminal trial looms in early 2023. The rapper has released a hopeful public statement about his situation, claiming innocence and stressing that his meteoric career has been based on hard work, uplifting others, and providing for his loved ones rather than criminal actions. The picture that is being painted to me is ugly and untrue. My fans know I love to celebrate life. I love my family. I love to travel. I love music, and I love my fans. I have all faith that God will grant me justice for the purity in my heart and the innocence of my actions. But until the trial goes to court, it is unclear what GUNNA's future and the future of the wider YSL collective will look like. It's unlikely that GUNNA would languish in jail if he hadn't crossed paths with Young Thug in 2016. But if that didn't happen, perhaps GUNNA would not have been nearly so successful. Now that he's going down with Young Thug, maybe GUNNA looks back with regret on the moment that Gucci Mane offered him $1 million to sign with 1017 Records. Perhaps if he'd moved labels, he wouldn't be facing criminal charges. And on the other hand, if Keith Traub hadn't introduced the two on that fateful day in 2016, the world wouldn't have had the benefit of their many creative collaborations. And maybe rap would be missing the development of their distinctive melodic style. So, do you think GUNNA made a mistake in signing with YSL? Would he have still met with success if he had never joined forces with Young Thug? Let us know in the comment section below, as we would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe so we can continue providing you with high quality hip-hop and rap-related content. This is Professor Street. Thanks for watching.
I got in my way, need somebody grow me a tree.